it's very important to have a strategy. So the title of this session is Paying Your Future. Now, you might not know this. My parents immigrated from Jamaica to Canada or in I don't know what year, because I wasn't there yet. But I came out in Canada, okay? Jamaican parents are cheap, okay? They know how to stretch money. What that meant was growing up, I don't think I had Nike until I got to college. So we were never big label. We were always taught to think about tomorrow, make your money stretch. So today I want to leave you with what I call a tremendous message. And not just that, a technique and a tip that you can use. So what do you think that means when I say paying your future? The first one, save for your future. We have to put money away now for tomorrow. One of the most important things we have is our future. We talk about personal development. We talk about professional development. All these things we want to improve, it's for our future. It's to make sure that we are set up. We want our kids to be brought up in a situation a little bit better than ours, right? Same thing our parents wanted for us. One of the more common ways that people save, they save like this. They have all their expenses. They'll pay for their car insurance, electric, this, that, internet. They'll pay all of their bills. And then after all the bills are paid, they'll say, okay, let's just say I have 5,000 RMB left. Well, I'm going to spend about 4,000 on day-to-day expenses. I'm going to save 1,000. That's really actually called paying yourself last. Okay? Your future is much more important. So the concept, the tip I have today to share with you is called paying yourself first. Literally, paying yourself first. And what that means is payday, whether you're here in China, get paid once a month, whether elsewhere you get paid twice a month, the first person you pay each month absolutely needs to be yourself. Reason being, that's the way you guarantee yourself to have funds down the road and for a consequence we'll talk about later, emergency. How do you do that? So I understand that right now, some of us may not have that much money that we can pay ourselves first. You might be saying, well, if I pay myself first, that means I got to take money off the backside. So for example, let's say again, I said I have 5,000 RMB left, and I usually take 4,000 to pay for my expenses. I save 1,000. Well, what if I say, you know what? Every paycheck, I'm going to now take 2,000 and give myself 3,000 remaining. Wow, that 1,000 RMB cut, that can hurt, right? I'll tell you what I noticed. When I decided to take more money off the backside and pay myself first, and again, first saying, I'm going to pay myself this much, and this is my expense. I view it as an expense. I view it as a bill that must be paid before anything else gets paid each and every paycheck. That's why it's important to start developing that habit. Now, I'm giving for my example, I'm saying 2,000 RMB. You can use 200 RMB. The important thing is getting into the habit of paying yourself first every month. And slowly over time, that amount will increase, but it's much more important that you're saving even if it's a little bit. You're paying yourself first each and every month. So when I added more to my savings at first and took 2,000 off of my day-to-day, 1,000 off of my day-to-day money, for some reason, we know how to spend what we have. So if you take that 1,000 off and you're left with 3,000, we'll make it work. If it's 4,000, we'll make it work, right? If it's 3,000, we will find a way to make it work. So one of the things you have to consider is how can you rework your thought process, save first, and then after your expenses, find a way to make that little bit of that remaining amount work to cover your expenses. Think about it. Typically, our income may stay stable, but our expenses are what may grow over time, which is why it's important to view your future as a fixed expense. No matter what happens, you got to find other areas to pull from. I had to stop drinking Starbucks for a while and start drinking instant coffee. And I've had no problem with that, but just finding different ways of saving and saving and saving. Poor knowledge about your credit card rates. I agree. In my experience, the biggest cause of credit card debt are emergencies, unplanned things that come up, hospital bills, things that you haven't budgeted for, so you don't have the funds for it. So then you must do what? You must put it on your credit card. You must borrow money. And that's where a lot of people really get jammed up, because remember what? They didn't have the emergency funds. You must spend time on before it closes up is how to build up your emergency funds, right? You can't avoid it. It is of the utmost importance to have that emergency fund, because again, when things do happen, you don't want to have to go into more debt, because poor credit card knowledge, you'll be under that for a long time trying to get out. But if you do have a reserve, that yes, you want this reserve for the future, but it's still there for an emergency. So the benefit of paying yourself first is you're automatically putting money aside for that rainy day, for those weeds. So what I want us to do now, I can't force any of you, but I want us now to take this challenge. And here's the challenge. It's very simple. The challenge is your next paycheck, your paycheck after your next one, and the paycheck after that one. The next 3 paychecks, pay yourself first. You choose the amount, okay? But make sure, literally, the first person you pay is yourself. Now, if you're getting paid overseas, do automatic deduction, right? But literally, before you go to WeChat and pay your mobile bill or do whatever, send you the rent, pay yourself first. And that does mean having a separate bank account.
Up next,